banner. It's that time of year once again. It's time to turn on the lights, trim the tree, roll out the sidewalks, and welcome Santa Claus to downtown Bowmanville. My name is Doug Moore, and along with my partner Mike Slocum, we'll be bringing you the highlights of this, the 30th Annual Santa Claus Parade in Bowmanville. This year's parade will feature 12 bands, 19 floats, 24 filler entries, and countless walkers. Our parade banner just headed up the street to start our parade off. And Mike, coming along, we're going to be bringing in the Cardinals from Scarborough, Ontario. There they are on the screen, and you've got some information on this drum corps.
The Cardinals are from Scarborough, Doug. They're a drum and bugle corps, approximately 60 members. They're being led by James Duncan. They've traveled over 10,000 miles in the past year at various competitions. They were the band which performed at the All-Star Game in Toronto and many other professional events, football and other sporting events. And tomorrow they'll be performing in the Toronto Santa Claus Parade.
And we're indeed fortunate to have them with us. We're going to start playing some Christmas music now.
They've also performed down in Disney World at the Electric Light Parade. They do get around.
Behind the Cardinals is our fire chief's car, and in the fire chief's car is Les Smale, an annual tradition in our parade as he's welcoming all the children and adults alike to the parade.
Following the fire chief's car is a 1953 Chevrolet put in by the Police Association. This car was found down in West Virginia and has been refurbished by the Police Association. Lou Williamson coordinated the work. It's being driven by Fred Johns. Not too bad.
Great restoration job on that car, and it's been in many of the parades over the last few years. Our parade flags coming along the way, and also our community flags. And behind those, and each of the service clubs and all community-based organizations are invited each year to parade their colors in the Santa Claus Parade, and they always do so. There's some of them right now as they were going along on the parade route. Our official party will be coming along in a while, but those youngsters sitting there on the curb aren't looking for any official parties or anything else. They're looking for one person in particular. It's going to be a long way away yet. He's about 68 or 69 entries in the parade away. Our first officials coming along, Mike, in our lead car. Official party's cars are provided by General Motors. And in the first car was the mayor-elect of Newcastle, Diane Hamray. See Diane being driven along by Tracy Welch. I like that coat she's got on.
In the second car on the screen monitor now is Gary Harriman, the regional chairman.
There was some doubt that Gary was going to be here apparently this year, as he had some other meetings he had to attend. There he is. But luckily he was able to get the time out of the meetings and be with our parade once again. Must have been another horse pull someplace Gary had to be off announcing.
He's the only man that doesn't need a microphone.
That's right, that's right. If you work any of the fairs and horse shows with him, you know that. Next car coming along, not the Corvette on your screen, but the one in front of that actually contains the very first parade chairman, Carson Elliott. Carson's and another group of community-minded citizens. There's Carson, you're right. Picked up this parade in 1962 after it had been started in 61 by the Kiwanis Club and have carried it on uninterrupted since that time. In fact, at one time this was was the largest non-commercial parade in southern Ontario. I believe it still is, and was considered second only to the Eaton's Parade in size. And we've got a lot of people here again today to see it.
Including Ross Stevenson, our federal member of Parliament, who is in the Corvette. Some of the clowns who are going along the side of the parade route.
We've got a lot of walkers in the parade, and they are coordinated by Pat Lang, and she gets them all decorated up in their costumes with their makeup. Along the come, and there's Ross again riding in the parade. There's again some of our community flags. You can see the Kinsman flag, the Lions, the Orange Lodge flag. Just some of them that are with us again today.
Some more of our walkers running down around the route.
Wonder how long they'll be running today.
Well, they'll probably be running past us, and they'll be walking down near the end of the parade.
We've got a few of the people in the parade this year that are going to get about halfway, I think, and that'll be it. There's some of the kids that are here. That's what it's all about, and that's why it continues on each year. The parade committee meets throughout the year, getting donations to help offset the cost of running a parade. And they also like to thank the Royal Canadian Legion. Their volunteers are out today selling buttons and programs along the parade route. Ted Dadson and Bob Margerison coordinate that. Most of the money for this parade comes from donations and from the button sales. Mike, we've got another band coming along. We've got a pipe band.
This band is the Scott McCormick Pipe Band out of Oshawa. It's under the leadership of Pipe Major Brian Lee. It's a Scottish Highland pipe band with 16 members in their group. They dress in the ancient Mackay tartan, and they play in street parades annually throughout Ontario. They're unique in that they are sponsored privately by a legal firm out of Oshawa. They compete as what's called a Grade 3 pipe band.
If they do well, does it get passed to Grade 4?
Well, they've won some competitions in the last couple of years in Coburg and Cambridge at the various Scottish festivals.
We've got coming along now a little bit of the history of the parade as we have our two parade princesses. Our parade princess from way back in 1961, really isn't that long ago, Nancy Eatock, and our 1991 parade princess sitting up behind her there, Emily Smith. There's the first and the present princesses of our Bowmanville Santa Claus parade.
The first one must have competed as an infant.
Definitely. The election's over. It's all right. Alice in Wonderland's coming along now, and Alice in Wonderland is a float put together by our parade committee. It's just coming on your screen now. As well as organizing the parade each year, the committee puts together a couple of floats to put in. You can see that Alice is riding up there with many of the storybook characters. There, the Queen of Hearts sitting up top. We've got a little carousel in the center turning Alice as she's looking at all these figures around her. Luckily, the wind died down, Michael. It was blowing quite severely this morning, and so we're going to get most of the decorations should be able to stay on the floats this year.
My hands are still quite cold, but if the sun would come out, it might help.
Well, if you spend some money and buy a decent pair of gloves, should be okay. What's a parade? What's a birthday celebration without a cake? And our cake is coming along now. This is our 30th anniversary cake, centered by the 2nd Bowmanville Pathfinders. It's the second time the Pathfinders have entered a float in the parade, and the girls designed and built all of this float. Their leader, Brenda Lloyd, said it took them a couple weeks anyway to get all this stapled together, and they were another group that was happy this morning to see that the wind had died down.
Not only the wind, that so often we have rain and or snow, and it's so nice that all the effort doesn't go for naught.
Well, you may have heard that little crash on your television and seen some of the people along the route jump. That little girl looks as though she's just wondering what was that. Well, it's our next entry coming along. This is the Military Reenactment Society of Canada. They are the Incorporated Militia of Upper Canada, and they are reenact battles from the War of 1812. You see them down at the far end. They've been in the parade in past years, have been missing for the last couple, but are back by popular demand. And throughout the parade, they'll be loading and firing off their Brown Bess muskets, performing foot marching and drill as they come along too. And you can see all the kids are waiting to see them. They anticipate they're coming, but once they get into their kneeling position and ready to fire, you see many of them begin to plug their ears and turn away from the noise. It is an impressive sight and obviously an impressive sound. Here they come, marching up King Street in Bowmanville. This Military Reenactment Society is a non-profit organization. The
The outfits that they're wearing, is there any significance to the...
Yeah, they were established to foster an interest in military heritage of Canada, something which we Canadians particularly don't do enough of, I believe. They reenact some of the specific units in the battles and specific military bodies from Canadian history, and they are dressed and equipped as accurately as possible to represent soldiers of the period. And the men give displays of their military parade drills, field evolutions, as well as battle demonstrations, and they tour through Ontario and the northern United States. Interestingly enough, when the men are on the road, the women and children also. Mike, your heart stopped.
It doesn't matter how much you prepare for this, when the guns go off.
We're going to say that the women and children follow them as well. I don't believe any are on the parade route today, but they are also dressed in period costume to represent camp followers. You see, they're getting their brown vests all loaded to fire up, and I do see some of the women, the camp followers, in behind.
Interestingly enough, the one gentleman's carrying an axe.
He doesn't need much else with all that firepower behind him.
They always want to be near where they're going to shoot these rifles off.
They always fire them off somewhere around us, too.
Well, I'm hoping that we've had our experience.
I tend to doubt it. Reenactment Society does charge fees for putting on their displays, and their fees are all turned right back into their society to improve the accuracy of their uniforms and equipment, as well as to cover the cost of materials used in demonstrations. The black powder would be one. There they are, right there. That's
what you were saying about the parade. It's very important that everyone be aware that the selling of the parade buttons is the major source of funding for the reservation of bands and other expenses pertaining to the parade. So it's very much appreciated when the people who come to the parade support it by purchasing the buttons.
I think a lot of people don't realize the cost that goes into staging a parade of this size and magnitude. There are many costs, as well as the bands that are coming along as well. This is Miss Orono Fair. Kelly Hentig riding in a car provided by Kay Lyson. And I think we're going to have to...
We just did.
We did. We've got some elephants coming along a little bit
Well, I'm
later.
awfully glad that the elephants are following the reenactment. I had some grave concerns of just what might happen had the elephants been preceding the enactment. I can imagine. I've never seen an elephant run.
They don't need to. Merry, Merry, Quite Contrary is the title of the next float coming along, and this is entered by the Third Pack Brownies. Third Pack Brownies have been in the parade for 21 years. You can see the girls on the float are all dressed up as the maidens. One brownie up there is Mary with the flower boxes. They've got a bird bath up there in a fountain surrounded by a picket fence. And you can see their gold and green trim on all of their parade. This was in the junior division this year. And being entry number 13 in our parade.
They're being followed by the 279th Royal Canadian Sea Cadet Corps of Bowmanville. This corps is under the leadership of Ron Cook. There are 50 people in this corps. They have flags of the Sea Cadets and many other the provinces. They're the top Sea Cadet Corps in Eastern Ontario for the last 2 years, which is kind of impressive. They're not that, they haven't been in existence all that long. They practice in Bowmanville in one of the parking lots near our church. This is about their third or fourth time in the parade. They're being followed by a group which has been in the parade many times, which is the Coburg Concert Band. They have approximately 40 members under the direction of Roland White and drum major Tom McMillan. They were formed in 1921. Their major function is to perform concerts from the band shell at Victoria Park, Coburg, every Tuesday night in July and August. At this time of the year, they perform many Santa Claus parades. And in fact, they'll be performing in the Coburg parade this afternoon at 2 o'clock. So that's why they're early in the parade, so they get down to Coburg for the parade this afternoon.
There's Globy, the Fiesta Globetrotter. Globy's the mascot of the Oshawa Folk Arts Council. They've who are the main sponsor and coordinator of Fiesta Week, which is an annual festival and celebration of multiculturalism. And along with Fiesta Week, Folk Arts Council also have Easter around the world and Christmas around the world. Globey, as he's known, is all around and loved by the children walking along the different routes. This is Kazenko Stables. Gail Stickwood and Candy Baker are the riders. Our two Christmas bears wanting to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. Those bear costumes were also handmade by each participant. That's Stephen Wright. Stephen's driving his horse Simply Marvelous, and riding with him is our Strawberry Princess, Catherine Saulnier. The buggy Stephen is in is an 1880 vintage buggy, decorated as it would be when we were visiting relatives at that time to deliver Christmas packages on Christmas Day. And the Bowmanville Business Center, who sponsored that entry, would like to remind you that the tree lighting ceremony will be December 5th at 7:15 on Temperance Street. Alibaba and 40 Thieves next, Mike.
Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, which consists of these walkers and a float which is coming along behind, is the winner of the senior float competition. There are approximately 25 children involved, and we have some horses in the middle.
And that's Dawn Robinson riding Mouse. Dawn's been in the parade for many years, and I don't think we've ever got a chance to mention her name.
And that's not Mouse.
Well, that's not a mouse, that is Mouse.
That's a horse.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. There they
Here
are,
comes
Mike.
the float of Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, and this is definitely the senior float winner for the parade, as judged this morning just prior to the parade taking place. You can see Alibaba on the float. This has been put in by the Purple Hill Orange Lodge.
I think back down the road also, the 40 Thieves are coming along up to their usual dastardly
Here they
deeds.
come, yes.
There are some of the guards in Alibaba standing guard over the
gold.
over the cave. There are the 40 Thieves looking for people.
How appropriate. They seem to kidnap a few of the people, let them ride for a while, and then go kidnap a few more. This has become somewhat of a tradition in the parade. One year they kidnapped one of the original and continuing members of the Santa Claus Parade Committee, Edie Cole, and carried her along the parade for a short while. The people being kidnapped certainly don't seem to feel all that threatened. They seem to enjoy the ride that they're given, and as long as they get allowed off so they can go back to join their families.
Most of them are running out asking to be taken along by them. There's some of the thieves. They don't look quite as fierce as they did last year. A little more friendly. He doesn't quite know whether to wave at these guys or not. Mom said so, so he will.
Some more horses. Yes, they're definitely horses, but
they are, Mike, and we've had some entries put in later. That may actually be the Kazenko Stables entry.
More of the kids along the parade route. Some walkers. Like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, is it?
They look a little bit shorter. Must be Snow White and the Black Queen and the Seven Dwarfs who were supposed to be in with this entry. I like the skirts that are on there.
That's right.
A little bit heavy to carry along the entire parade route. That's why they're all done up with the wheels on the bottom, but the girls are complaining about the fact that they get a little bit difficult to push. You don't realize the uphill grade.
They definitely are the Seven Dwarfs.
Hello.
Christina Thrasher looks like she's the Wicked Queen?
The Black Queen.
Black Queen.
Black Queen. Mike, we've got a very special band in the parade coming along right now.
This band is the Central Public School Band from Bowmanville under the leadership of Dale St. John. This is the only junior school band in Northumberland Newcastle Board of Education, and they are assisted this year by a co-op student, Joanna Salima, and
these students, you said, are grades 4, 5, and 6?
That's right.
All dressed out in their finery, playing some of the Christmas music. They're always a big favorite here.
Dale St. John this year is having some problems with his hip, and so therefore you might be able to catch him riding alongside the band on a four-wheel drive ATV. It's always quite impressive to hear the sound that can come from these young students.
They spend a lot of time working on them.
the 9th time they've been in the parade, and they're always well received by the crowd. More horses.
Another entry coming along. And we've got some Arabian horses coming along in this case.
Did you say Arabian?
Arabian horses.
Sorry.
See, Donna Hosky and Kathy Newhouse. Right there, those two horses have competed at many of our horse shows along, some of them with their Christmas finery on, all dressed up. And behind them, they've even brought their sweeper to help things out. The bands behind will be very happy of that. Coming along now is entry number 24 in our parade. This is entitled Santa's Favorite Float. You'll see why as it gets a little bit closer. This float is entered by the St. Warden Public School, and it also took a second prize in our junior float division. Earlier, our birthday cake, which went along, we neglected to mention that they were third in that junior float division. The junior float category will be receiving a trophy donated by Jack Meacham and was first awarded in 1969. If you look at this, you'll see why it's Santa's favorite float, because it's a large banana split being enjoyed by Santa and all his Christmas helpers. Now, right now, you may not see Santa. Some of the reindeer are waving to us. The elves are all ready with their candy cane shovels. But at the back of the float, coming up, there they are, Santa's feet. He was so hungry, he dove right into that thing. Well done by St. Warden. We've got a homemade tri-moto coming along, entered by Robert Forget. He's got on there Dorothy, who's Erin Forget. The Wicked Witch, Melissa Fowler. A Scarecrow, who's Ryan Fowler. There they are right there. The Lion, Ryan Buckman. And that Tin Man was handcrafted by Robert Forget. This is their second year in the parade. Again, another family getting together, putting in entry, getting stronger every year.
And we've had they did a lot of work to get that float ready.
That roar coming up the street now belongs to the Oshawa Harley Owners Group. They've got 10 to 20 motorcycles in the parade this year. The Oshawa chapter of the Harley Owners Group was formed in 1987 as a family-oriented motorcycle group to try to change the old image of Harley riders. And since then, the chapter has put on motorcycle rides and events, with the proceeds from those events going to the Grandview Treatment Center for Disabled Children in Oshawa. In fact, last year, the Oshawa Harley Owners Group donated a bit over $10,000 to the treatment center. They also support the Salvation Army in Oshawa by collecting new toys and helping them to distribute them. They've got 61 members now. They've been part of the Bowmanville Heritage Parade and will be appearing in the Oshawa Santa Claus Parade.
Next float's called Happy Anniversary from Frosty, apparently.
And this one is entered by the Bowmanville Kinsmen Club. Frosty and Crystal, who are up on the parade. Frosty is Wayne Hodge, and Crystal is Heather Cruikshank, and I promised them I'd mention their names, are wishing a happy 30th anniversary to the Bowmanville Santa Claus Parade. You can see them sitting up there with some of their other helpers. The Bowmanville Kinsmen Club have been participating in this parade for more than 20 years. They operate a fall color tour for seniors in Bowmanville, and they are proudly participate, as they say, in the Santa Claus Parade as a way of showing their thanks for the community support shown to the Kinsmen Club throughout the years. There's Frosty and Crystal sitting at the back with some of their youngsters accompanying them. Chinese Dragon, put in by the committee. Coming along, it's about 9 feet long. Little touch from the Orient.
Do you know who those people are? No?
I couldn't quite recognize them. Mike, we've got another...
They're being followed by the Havelock Fife and Drum Band from Havelock, Ontario. It's the third time that the Fife and Drum Band has been in the parade. They participated in Erie, Pennsylvania, and they've taken a first place honors at that event in Erie, Pennsylvania. My goodness gracious.
Are those the drum majors?
I don't think that if that's not a reindeer.
I don't think so. It doesn't have the antlers. Some of the elephants from the local Bowmanville Zoo. They were a late addition. We didn't even know they were going to be here, but we're more than happy that they are.
That's marvelous, isn't it?
They perform along the parade route. I think it was 2 years ago they were with us and were a big crowd favorite then, and that they are again this year. to know the material it took to make that hat.
Just to make the hat.
That cameraman's showing a lot of bravery being out there right now.
It really is something. You don't appreciate how huge these animals are until you actually see them.
Magnificent, just magnificent animals. And we're saying thanks for the applause. Well, you're more than welcome. We're happy to have you with us.
They participated in a walk to Toronto, it seemed to me, this summer.
To raise public awareness to the plight of the African elephant.
Yeah.
One of them did, yes. Yes, a very worthy cause, something we all need to be aware of in this age of conservation of our wildlife.
They're so big.
And the crowd definitely appreciates them, as they should. A lot of people don't realize that zoo is so close and the wonders that it holds for us down there. Dr. Emily Stowe Public Schools coming along now with their float, The Spirit of Christmas. And they have on their float actually two scenes, as we'll see when they get a bit closer. At the rear of the float, they have a nativity scene, one of the originals of our Christmas, moving up to the present time at the front of the float with a family around a Christmas tree.
Dr. Emily Stowe is one of the newest schools within the system down here, and it's nice to see that they're involved in the parade. They're actually from Curtis, and
that's right. This is their second year in as well. Shows the community-based feeling of the parade, yeah, and the de-emphasization of the commercialization of a parade, so that we still have all these family groups, the school groups participating. I think the spirit, the time that we've been doing the parade, we see each year the parades get the floats, excuse me, get a little bit more elaborate.
That's right.
More effort put into them, and the quality is constantly being upgraded. Congratulations.
And you can't comment enough on the fact that it's such a nice day, and without the wind, everything's holding together well.
I can't comment on that. This is the Oshawa Motor City Car Club. They are celebrated their 30th anniversary in 1989. This club was formed when two car clubs in Oshawa, the Continentals and Igniters, joined forces to form it. They're dedicated to the preservation and improvement of older and specialty automobiles. And as you see with the clowns behind them, they've got one of their automobiles there with them. They've competed in shows as far away as Dallas, Texas, and Winnipeg, Manitoba. They participate in the Oshawa Folk Festival, the Christmas Wish, the Canadian Automotive Museum, the Bowmanville Training School, and Orono Fair. Yeah, if you're at Orono Fair, you'll also see a very, very large car show, which they stage there each year. They've got 22 members, some of the original members still belonging from 1959, and they operate out of a well-equipped 7-bay garage with their meetings every second Wednesday. This entry coming along now, I believe, Mike?
It's the Newcastle family.
That's right, it's the Newcastle Family Connection, a new organization in town offering family services and counseling. They operate the toy lending library. Didn't get much of a chance, unfortunately,
well, I
to talk to these people.
say this is absolutely impressive, because I saw this float a half an hour ago and it wasn't even together.
It was a farm wagon.
It was a farm wagon, and it's absolutely incredible what they were able to do. We're being followed by the Ontario Regiment Drum Corps. They're under the leadership of 2nd Lieutenant Gravely and Drum Major Willard Anderson. The regiment has been in the parade many times over the years. It's the 1913 Ontario Regiment Cadet Corps of Oshawa. Another somewhat of a surprise.
We had a lot of those this morning.
We didn't know that we were going to be so there for the start before the parade. We're being followed by a fire truck, Doug. Here we go.
We'll listen to the music for a minute.
Cadet Corps has obviously won some medals or some awards recently. There's a truck following the Corps and it displays the... Here comes the fire trucks.
The entry of the Newcastle for Professional Firefighters, Local 3139. Two things happen with firefighters at parades. In the summer, they play with hoses squirting water at each other. In the winter,
they play with their home fire, the sirens.
Sirens going constantly.
This is one of the first vehicles they've ever had right here.
That's Gary Wardle and his miniature fire truck. He's been a participant in this parade for many, many years. In fact, I believe this afternoon he's off to the Coburg Santa Claus parade.
As well.
Just has a great time going back and forth, side to side, talking to the kids. His flashing light happens to be on top of his helmet. I think Gary built most of that fire truck himself.
He always has a lot of fun. The kids seem to get a real charge out of him going along the side of the parade. Being followed by a second fire truck.
One of our aerial ladders.
Aerial truck. And we have a 1960, oops, we did have a 1962 fire.
Just a while, we will
right
again.
There.
Newcastle Professional Firefighters as well, Mike. We've seen articles on the training center for school children. They've built a large house that you'll be taking along. Mike, go to that car.
I don't have any information. It must be Dairy Princess.
It is so.
And
It's Andrea Lyson.
And the car is Thunderbird?
I believe so. And is that not? Is that? Unfortunately, as you said, we don't have information on that. But I believe that may be
it's being driven by Ken Hawk.
I believe that's Ken's car as
I
well.
hope it is.
It's a different one than what we originally had, but Ken's come through and bringing along our Dairy Princess. Another band coming along, Mike. What do you have on them?
Oh, they're being. This is the North Wind Rebels band out of Oshawa. They have 50 members, including a color party. They're going to be participating in 10 Christmas parades this year, including the Toronto Christmas Parade tomorrow. They're under Drum Major Jeff Jones. They're actively looking for members, and if people are interested in joining a corps, as I said, this one is out of Oshawa, and I was asked if I had time to identify the name Dave Ellis in Oshawa and a telephone number 723-8750.
I don't think we have time
I don't
for
think we
that.
can do that.
No, no.
But they said that if we could, they would be interested in having more members.
We're going to come up and play some Christmas music for us. Very shortly we'll listen to, again, this is the North Wind Rebels from Oshawa, Ontario.
They have been in the parade a few times in the past, most recently about 3 years ago. They have gone through some reorganization in the past years, and it's good to see them back functioning. It's healthy to have these opportunities for kids to be active in the community.
Color party out front, all dressed up in Christmas finery for the parade. Rebels walking in a winter wonderland. Well, it's not quite snowing, but it's getting colder here.
It's certainly got some of the winter characteristics.
We've got another group of people that are out here today that we need to mention again. That's the Canadian postal workers. The local posties are walking along the route picking up Santa Claus letters from our youngsters. And candy canes, those letters are going to be delivered to Santa Claus, and the kids get to reply back very shortly.
Say enough really about the cable company. We appreciate having them down here to televise this parade and increase the awareness of the parade and safety lights. They've been involved for a great length of time as well.
1970 they started. Makes this their 21st parade. Coming up now is the VIP hairstyling entry. This is called Christmas in Animation. This is again proof of how the parade has grown. They've got 10 or 12 entries in this parade. Comic book characters are in the front room getting ready for Christmas, many of them out on the road in front of the float. The first year this organization entered the parade, we had a very small entry, and it's been growing every year and again increasing in quality. Mike, these people out front, are they part of the VIP, or are they looking as though they belong to another group?
These people are from the Bowmanville Drama Workshop. their float is, and these walkers are part of the cast of the Drama Workshop's production of Jacob Tutu Meets the Hooded Fang, a popular Canadian story about Jacob Tutu that no one would listen to, and he had to repeat everything twice. This float has actually won the second place honors for the senior float competition. And as I indicated, these are all members of the cast production from Jacob Tutu Meets the Hooded Fang. And the Drama Workshop players will be performing this later this month at the Bowmanville High School. They'll have a free performance for senior citizens on the 27th of November, followed by performances on the 29th and 30th. Again, another example of some efforts being made to provide opportunities for the youth of the community to be involved in various things, sporting and drama workshops, which can't be appreciated enough.
Keeping the arts alive.
Hooded Fang is right there. That's Judy Bagshaw, I believe.
Is it? I can't tell for the hood.
That's right.
As we mentioned, they were second in the senior float division in the senior float category. The winner of that was Alibaba, will be awarded the Carson Elliott Trophy. That trophy was started up in 1967. Now, as we mentioned, Carson was the first parade chairman in 1962 and donated the trophy to help increase the entries in our senior float division. Now we've got, I believe, VIP hairstyling coming along. We'll get this straight yet. Maybe by about next year we'll have our order all set and we'll know what's going on.
As far as I'm concerned, all they can do is fire us.
Can't increase our pay, that's for sure. This is Christmas in Animation, again by the VIP hairstyling, and they've got 12 comic book characters, some of them sitting in the front room getting ready for Christmas. Stockings are all hung by the chimney with care. And you see they've even got TV set, sitting around watching themselves, perhaps in the Saturday cartoons. As I said, you know, this group started, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago. A very small entry, grown constantly over the years. This is Christmas in Oz, entered by Lana O'Reilly. And we've got our Oz characters all dressed up. A unicorn, another horse-drawn vehicle there. I believe that's Renee Plaisance driving. And our Oz seems to be very popular this year. I think we've got 3 or 4 entries coming along for Christmas in Oz.
A 1946 Auburn, been put in by Pizza Pizza. This is a replica car of a 1946 Auburn, lovely looking vehicle.
The driver of the car is Stephen Bates, who's the area sales rep and was able to get the Auburn and bring it down to be part of the parade. And beside Stephen is Ron Trickey, who's the local Pizza Pizza franchise owner. And on our antique theme again, this is Gord Barnes of Remax Apple Realty with his 1937 Ford half-ton pickup. You see it's appropriately dressed up for today. It's a half-ton street rod truck. Inside under the hood is a 327 cubic inch motor on a 1964 Chev frame. Gord's waving out to all the parade viewers.
They're being followed by the Bowmanville High School Jazz Choir. This choir is their first entry in the parade, and this is the first year that they have had, I believe, a jazz choir at the high school. I don't think they're singing jazz, but each of the students has a microphone so that the people along the parade route will hear them.
Yeah, they are. The Bowmanville band comes up later on.
That's right. These people are under the direction of Sean Hills, a teacher from the school.
Some of the members of the choir, they finished their song coming along and they're starting to sing again. That's the Arabella Kennels entry, Santa's Canine Helper and Friends. And you can see pulling the cart is Dudley. There's Dudley right there. She's a 1.5-year-old Airedale, and we were told just loves to work. The Airedale is known as the king of the terriers, easily distinguished from other dogs by their striking black and tan appearance and their size. The Brooks Memorial Junior Orange Lodge is next, and this is entitled The Day After. See, we've got in the float the tired reindeer on the morning after, some of the elves looking a little bit the worse for wear. Brooks Memorial Junior Orange Lodge was started in 1981 with children 6 to 16 years of age, and they meet once a month. And through their efforts, support Children's Home in Rosemere, Quebec, and the Research Institute in Richmond Hill. And Mike, another band.
They're being followed by the Coburg Legion Pipe Band under the leadership of Pipe Major Dave Blower. The Legion Pipe Band thought the parade started at 11 o'clock, so they did a lot of scrambling to get ready in time for this to take place. This is the first time that this band has participated in this parade, and they'll be going to Coburg this afternoon to participate in the Coburg parade as well.
I think we've got 4 of the bands from this morning are heading down to Coburg.
Pretty cold day for wearing skirts.
As long as the wind's down, it's not as bad.
I just love that music there.
You have to. You have to.
Dave, did I call you Dave? Dave?
You did, but don't worry, Fred, it's okay. Have you got your shopping list done?
Oh, pretty well, pretty well. I'm going to get money.
Oh, the easy way out. My daughter told me the other day that she wants quints for Christmas.
Quint?
Quints. I just about passed out, and I found out they were dolls.
Oh. Well, when my twin sister and I were born, my brother said he wanted a brother, a sister, and a dog, so they bought him a dog.
Oh,
they figured 2 out of 3 wasn't bad. This is the Knights of Columbus float. This float is put in almost every year, they say. It's a float which will be parked after the parade in front of the St. Joseph's Catholic Church for the Christmas season. And this is the first event that it's in. They identify the nativity scene, and the float is called "Keep Christ in Christmas."
Timely message, one that too often we tend to forget about, don't we? Coming along now is the first prize winner in our junior float division. Again, they will be receiving the Jack Meacham Trophy. This is Ontario Street School. It's gorgeous float, as you see coming along. This is called La Ferme en Fête. Kids made this float. They've got a stable. They've got all these papier-mâché animals appearing out from the side. You'll see cows and horses on the back. When it goes by will be 2 pigs. They've got their trophy up there, our young equestrian and her farm hand, and you get a chance, if you can see down in front of the farm, they've got right there by our young rider, they've got 2 live chickens.
No.
There they are. There's one of them right there, taking in the parade.
Again, this is another example of what you were saying, that they started in the parade and each year seems to be getting a little more sophisticated. This is quite an impressive float.
It's the impressiveness of it as well, I think, is when you realize it's school children
together by the kids. And I know that they've had a real good time putting it together.
We'll see there's our horse and cow peering out, and on the back are 2 pink pigs, wishing everybody a joyeux Noel. Excellent float. Well-deserved first place.
This is the Clark High School band. They always traditionally participate in the parade on either a float or, as in this case, in a truck. They seem to be having a lot of fun. I hope they've got their lightweight members on the roof.
They'll find out in a while. Bowmanville Rotary Club comes next. This is entitled To Grandma's for Christmas. You see Grandpa's in the sleigh with his 2 reindeer. Grandma's at the front door waiting for the kids to come over to make the Christmas season complete. Rotary Club in Bowmanville has 60 members.
One of our former mayors, Garner Rickard, is taking the easy way out. He's pulling the float.
He's in the truck. This year, their projects included planting, in conjunction with schools and Boy Scouts, 18,000 trees.
Harry Cook is in Santa's house by the looks of things.
Rotary Club also makes donations to Meals on Wheels and support an eyeglass project in Jamaica. They've also initiated a study to build a senior citizens activity center in the town. And that is well underway. It's the Bowmanville Rotary Club going to Grandma's for Christmas. This is Driving Miss Amanda, Deanna Hostick and John Hostick. heading off maybe to do some of the Christmas shopping.
We have some clowning around coming up.
Now, this is the Great Pine Ridge Kinsmen and Cadets. They have formed a clown group to entertain at events around the community, show more of their social involvement as they continue to grow. And you see some of the members of their clown troupe out on the road, some of the youngsters riding in the back. Another excellent local service club.
They're being followed by the Whitby Brass Band. They've been in the parade for many years. The band was originally set up 130 years ago when the town was first formed. The band practices at the Hayden Shore Pavilion. There's 30 members ranging from ages 14 to 60. They've attended many festivals and won many awards, including major awards for Rick here at the
Were you saying something?
I figured I would just let them tell the story. They play on an average of 25 engagements throughout the year in southern Ontario and mainly in the Whitby area.
Something about a brass band. Chilly morning, playing Christmas music. Maybe there's something that's getting your lips stuck to the mouthpiece. It's a 1969 Chrysler Newport entered by Jack Colville. Seen around in many of the different parades. I believe Jack bought that car new and has kept it on the road. Got a little bit of Christmas decoration on it. There's our driver and owner, Jack Colville. Toyland is the title of this next float, and it's entered by St. Stephen's Elementary School. Got about 15 youngsters on there. A castle at the back, presents, and the singers are singing some of the Christmas songs. This Toyland float is the first time entry by St. Stephen's Elementary School students and staff, and is promoted also by the Catholic Parent Teachers Association. The staff at St. Stephen's would like to thank Greg Muscat, who coordinated this float. At St. Stephen's Elementary School on their Toyland theme. There's some of the characters on their float now.
It's nice to see there's even more of the schools becoming involved in this parade. Another siren coming up, Doug. This is the Oshawa Whitby Newcastle United Way. It's a an antique fire truck. Not that antique, but it's an older fire truck with representatives and kids from the United Way.
Good siren on it again, Mike.
There we are. I knew I had something on that. There are 100. What are you pointing at?
I was saying there's 122 United Ways in Canada, and this one ranked 16th in total donations. I think it's a wonderful record. Something they should be proud of.
They're being followed by the. Oh, I've lost it.
151 Chadburn Squadron, Royal Canadian Air Cadets.
They're being led by Drum Major Sergeant Gilbank, who is the son of the original leader of the group.
There, right on your screen now, is the Royal Bank Leo the Lion. This costume was commissioned by the Royal Bank, put together in tours throughout the different areas, and we were lucky enough to get in here for one day this year. That large head's got a helmet inside it to support it. And on your screen now is the entry from the Big Sisters of Newcastle, Oshawa, Whitby. That's the Candyland Express. They've got many activities which they carry out. It's a non-profit organization primarily funded by United Way of Oshawa, Whitby, Newcastle, and relies heavily upon the involvement of volunteers. This is the Visual Arts Center coming along now. This is their Christmas Ferries entry. They've got a poinsettia ferry, a pinecone ferry, an ivy ferry, a holly ferry, a mistletoe ferry, and the Christmas ferry, of course, along with the Snow Queen in the middle. Families have gotten together on Sunday afternoons at the Visual Arts Center to work on this float over the last couple months, so the children as young as 2 years old have worked to put it together. It's a gorgeous entry again. This is the Ontario Students Against Impaired Driving, OSED. This is the chapter from the Bowmanville High School. A very worthwhile organization bringing a terrific message to us at this time of year in particular, but throughout the year. It's one we always need to be remembering.
I think also they're also concentrating on the fact that it's teenagers telling other teenagers that these are students that are against drunk driving.
This is a special band coming along here, Mikey, behind OSED.
This special band is the band who always precedes the most popular float in the parade, but this band is from Bowmanville High School under the leadership of Ron Parker. There are 70 members in this band, and they traditionally are in front of Santa Claus. They have won the gold medal at the last 2 years of the Durham Region Kiwanis Festival, and it's always a treat to see the high school kids perform for us. It's always well acknowledged by the people on the plate route because they know who's coming next. That's something to the Bowmanville High School band under the leadership of Ron Parker. Around us here, we can hear the kids getting excited because they can see what we see on the monitor now, and that is Santa Claus has finally come.
There he is up top. They've been sitting out here waiting for him all morning long. So they're all up on their feet out to the edge of the road and waving. Not just the young at heart as well.
I think that the parents are just as happy to see Santa Claus as the kids.
I think so. Maybe they don't realize this starts the shopping season. There he is. I always like the title of this float.
All around this
Ho, ho, ho.
All around this float are the postal workers who are collecting Santa Claus, the letters to Santa Claus, and there's Santa Claus now, greeting the kids.
We mentioned earlier, too, that the Legion is selling the buttons. There are special, what they call funny buttons as well. If you've been here and have one of them, check your button. You will have some color in your reindeer, a gold or silver color, and if you've got one of those buttons, that's worth $5. If you just turn it back into the Royal Bank here in town sometime before December 31st and pick up your $5. And again, remember that parade button has color on the reindeer. Our St. John's ambulance bringing up the back of the parade, a group that we are always happy to have with us. They often get missed because of Santa Claus being there. We appreciate their support and their help with the parade each year. We'll go a couple more of our helpers and reindeer. We lead up to the top where all the kids are looking right now. And there he is once again.
Santa Claus loves all you boys and girls very, very much.
The kids are very enthusiastic. They really like to see.
So am I. I'm going home working on my list this afternoon.
I'm just as happy to see him as you are.
I'm going to get those quints off there right away, I think.
There's the message right there, season's greetings. The tradition of Santa Claus is that he's usually the last float in the parade. He's being followed by our St. John's ambulance who are always here to help in case there's a problem with the participants along the parade. It's my opportunity, Mike Slocum, to say thank you to Cable 10 for their efforts in putting this parade forward. We also would like to acknowledge the hard work of Don Welsh and Valerie Gardner, Sharon Smith, Edie Cole, Pat Lang, George Hilson, and Roger Latouche, who are the Santa Claus Parade Committee and put so much tremendous work ahead in putting this parade together. The committee also wants to thank all of the donors and organizations and individuals who have assisted in the parade. In many ways, thanks go to those who participated in the parade, and as I've said previously, thanks to the St. John's ambulance. So on behalf of Doug Moore and myself and the parade committee, I would like to wish you a safe and Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Happy New Year. And
goodbye, everyone.
Power supplied by